Am I the asshole for leaving a fake positive pregnancy test in the bedroom to catch my husband's mom snooping? My mother-in-law moved in with us a month ago. I began to notice my stuff in the bedroom being touched, furniture rearranged, stuff moved, etc. I felt like I was going crazy because my husband is the only one who has access to the bedroom, and he doesn't usually touch nor come near my things. I figured it must be his mom walking in and snooping on my personal things. I told my husband, and he said his mom would never. I had a huge hunch, but couldn't install a cam in the bedroom to catch her in the act.
I wonder why not.
So I got me one of those fake positive pregnancy tests and threw it in the bedroom's trash can. Note, the trash can was placed in the corner near the closet. Literally the next day after I got to work, I got a ton of calls and texts from my in-laws congratulating me for my pregnancy. My husband came over to my workplace and was all worked up about it, asking since when I was pregnant and why I didn't tell him. I asked how he found out, and he said his mom found the positive test in the trash can in the bedroom. I asked if his answer just confirmed that she's been snooping in the bedroom all along. He had a realization moment, but demanded we stick to the bigger issue. I said there was no bigger issue because the positive test was fake, and this whole thing was done to expose my mother-in-law's snooping. He was not convinced. He had me take an actual test right in front of him, and he was livid, asking how I could lie about such a thing and break his mom's heart, since I know very well that she longs for kids. I got a lot of shit because of this from him, his mom, and family now calling me a liar and manipulator. Am I the asshole?
No. No. And the other thing too, that, okay, not only was she snooping around, but like, where the fuck are your boundaries? If people find out that they're pregnant, they don't always want to tell everyone right away. Like, there is just like a window where people don't like to tell people. And that is so up to her to decide when she wants to announce it and when she wants to have her big moment. So not only was she snooping in her house, but she also took that away from her by telling the entire family that she's pregnant. When she also doesn't know, she could have been like, I had a friend over who was crying, bawling.
Literally.
And, you know what I mean? Like, it is so boundaryless that it's frustrating on not just like the snooping around, but like on so many other fronts.
This one to me is worse.
Than what?
The phone.
Oh.
It hasn't been going on as long, but at least that mother-in-law wasn't like breaking the news to everyone. Like, oh, yeah. Guess what? They're already married.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't know. Maybe they're both equally as bad. But I think like losing that autonomy over your body and your choice to tell people is so just distressing for me.
Yeah.
Because like you said, there is a turbulent time during the first trimester where people don't like to share. And then you have some people that are totally fine with people knowing right away, because if they do have a miscarriage, they don't have to go through it alone.
Or if she had this whole dream of surprising them, you know, people like to do certain things where they make a cake and then it has some type of pun on it, or you know what I'm saying? Like you might have just taken that moment away from somebody by doing that. You for sure took it away from her being able to tell her husband. But like I'm saying, if she had some like Pinterest idea of how she wanted to announce it. Like she took, you know what I mean? Like it's just
all of it. I do not like the husband's reaction.
No.
At all. Throw him away. Throw him away. The fact he literally made her take a pregnancy test, a new one, right in front of him.
Yeah.
I just envisioned him hovering over the toilet as she pees on the stick.
Yeah.
You made her do something?
Yeah.
This is weird.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, the bigger issue here is that you lied.
Also, sorry, did I miss something? So the mom, she has keys to their...
She moved in about a month ago.
Okay, that's what I knew I missed.
There's
something.
a lot of comments from OP info. So they're going in order of like response, or the earliest responses from OP.
Yeah.
Info. Isn't your husband concerned mother-in-law felt completely comfortable to snoop and report what she found?
Yeah.
Why isn't that a part of the problem here? OP responds, apparently no, because even after I explained, he still said I was in the wrong and that the positive test was manipulative. Not the asshole. Throw the whole family away. He forced you to take a pregnancy test in front of him. Psycho vibes. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so OP goes, he did it after we went home. I couldn't refuse because he was waiting for me to prove I was telling the truth. If your partner doesn't believe you at your word, you have bigger issues.
Yeah.
Like really big issues.
Wow.
Next comment, not the asshole, it proved your point. Very nearly everyone sucks since you probably should have looped husband in, but given his reaction, I'm assuming he'd have tried to stop the plan.
Yeah.
Or is he just upset about not knowing? OP goes, if I told him, he would have had an issue with it anyways, since now he's claiming that I deceived his mom and broke her heart since she thought I was really pregnant. Comment was removed by the moderator, but OP responds and says, I think the issue is that he doesn't even think his mom is doing anything wrong. He's always jumping to her defense, saying things like, Mom would never do that. And if she did, then she meant well. If you got offended, then that's on you. You don't want to speak to her, then that's a you problem. And rinse and repeat. In other words, in his eyes, she can never do wrong. Admittedly, the pregnancy thing maybe was a bad idea since the topic of children is touchy for both of them. That is literally the narcissist's prayer. It's like this thing. And it's on the lifedoctor.org. It's a narcissistic personality disorder expert, apparently. But I've seen it before, and it goes, that didn't happen. And if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, that's not a big deal. And if it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it.
Can you send that to me? I want to repost that for some peeps.
You could subtweet somebody?
No, not necessarily. I just think that it is a really good thing to acknowledge when you are speaking to somebody. Kind of check yourself sometimes. Like, are you sounding like this?
Absolutely.
And some of these stories have just been making me think that. Like, it's really frustrating to me when people can't like take accountability or just like take a step back and be like, okay, like what was my part in this? I think it's so much more beneficial of a conversation and a relationship when you can do that. Even if somebody is, being absolutely ridiculous, like, where's my part? What am I doing? And then be able to have a conversation from there. And I think a lot of people just go so quickly to be like, well, if this is how you're feeling, that's your fault. That's your problem. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. It's all you.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just, I think that like that quick reaction is just, it doesn't get you far. It doesn't get anyone far.
No. And apologies can be so easy and yet so hard because it's all in the wording, because it's like, obviously we're not directly responsible for how someone else reacts. But if you hurt their feelings based on something you did, you should be apologizing for that.
Yeah.
But then you kind of get into this gray area where it's like, are they overreacting? Was there a miscommunication? Okay. So I've like really struggled with like how to word apologies where it's like, I'm so sorry I hurt your feelings. Like that wasn't my intention.
Yeah.
But here's what I was thinking, or here's why I did what I did.
Right.
Because there's certain instances where people are hurt, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it was a you issue. It feels like more of a them.
Yeah.
So it is hard where you're like, fuck, am I brushing them off like this way, like this narcissist prayer? Or are you just trying to like clear the air and make the communication more solid, but you're still apologizing?
Yeah, I think the way you said it is a more positive way of approaching it, because I think sometimes when people say like, I'm sorry you feel that way, it just kind of feels dismissive right away.
You shift the blame onto them.
Right. And where it's like, if you say like, I'm so sorry that like
I hurt your feelings.
I'm sorry that what I said like made you feel this way. Like that, wasn't my intention. But like to just straight go to like the I'm sorry that you feel this way. It's like it does feel very dismissive.
Yeah. And I think that's like the thing. Like obviously people that you love and your friends and family and whoever, like you don't want to hurt anyone. So yeah. At the end of the day, they were hurt. Apologize for that. And then get to the root of like, where does this really lie?
Right.
Were they triggered because of something you said that you didn't know about? Yeah. Was there miscommunication? It's like, it's just have the conversation with people and like really get to the bottom with it. And if they still are brushing you off and not receptive to your apology, then like, okay, that's probably not on you.
Right. No, definitely. And I don't have any, like when I was saying, I want you to send that to me. It just kicked my microphone in my face. I don't have anybody top of mind that I'm thinking like, I want to subtweet this to you. But I just think it's a good reminder for everybody when we communicate, because it doesn't need to be a narcissist. Like it just being more aware of how you're communicating with people when you are in a conflict.
No, I really think about the apologies as I type them out. I'm like, I'm like, don't come off like that.
Well, that's good.
It's hard.
I think that's good that you think about that. That's like the first step is like being aware that like you're trying to be productive here. You know, you're not trying to cause more tension between you and the other person.
Exactly. A lot of comments from OP. This one was removed by the moderator, and I have OP's response, but don't know what the initial one was asking. But OP says she was originally planning on staying for 2 weeks after she got into a fight with father-in-law, but now she's refusing to reconcile with him and go home. I think she just wanted an excuse to move in with her son. Not the asshole. You didn't lie and broke no hearts. If husband doesn't understand it, send this one away, together with his snooping mom.
I don't know why that comment was so funny.
If my husband ever demanded I take a pregnancy test in front of him, I would tell him only if he puts his head in the toilet while I do it. OP responds, I know I shouldn't laugh, but couldn't help myself after looking at your response. It's true. But it wouldn't have been an issue if she wasn't snooping in your bedroom trash can. I agree with posters who say you have a husband problem. OP responds, my thoughts exactly. One last comment that OP responds to at this point in time, and the person goes, not the asshole, but ordering a lock for your door and kicking mother-in-law out seems easier. If you were pregnant, how dare she announce it?
Exactly.
So many red flags. One of you needs to go and it shouldn't have to be you. And OP responds, the lock is an issue because my husband wants access to the room at random times and we only have one key. I don't have time to lock/unlock the door all day long. Not a sufficient solution if you ask me.
Duplicate the keys. Get a new lock on the door.
Locks are $10 at Home Depot. $15, $20. Get a new lock with multiple keys.
Yeah.
I have done this on multiple places I've lived to ensure I have a lock on my door.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Let's just say that she, I don't know, like clogged the other toilet if they only had one toilet. And so it was actually just a total coincidence. And the mother-in-law literally just went in there because she needed to use the bathroom and then she saw it. But the issue is telling everybody. So it's like, she doubled down.
Yep.
Because the husband could have a case being like, dude, like she literally used our bathroom because the other one wasn't working. Like it's not that big of a deal and you set this trap on her. But he can't even use that because it just shows that she has no boundaries because of what she did next.
It's the telling too. It's everything. It's everything. This one, there's a lot to unpack with this one. And I think it's going to, I can't imagine.
This was a good one. I'm glad you didn't skip this one.
I know. Well, I didn't read it beforehand. So I'm like, I don't know what it is. But based on the title, I was like, it sounds similar to the other mother-in-law. My stories are all over the place. I have way too many tabs open. My organized chaos has like not been good lately. It's like out of control with the tabs. I gotta fix it.